in the middle of doing another video, and of course, my phone cut off. So that's another thing that's been happening. That's why I said I wanted to get on here and say a few things that has been happening to me lately. The phone that I use is my mom's old phone that I can't use outside of Wi-Fi or whatever. And someone has been remoting in, touching, doing things on its own, and blah, 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 blah. So I was in the middle of a video and it flipped the camera. So anyway, I wanted to get on here and say a few things about some things that happened back to me in December. My mom's birthday is in December. I went out to lunch with her and my stepdad. And after we went out to lunch, we went, walked around to a couple of stores, and then I ended up going home. And this one particular store, one of the perps or gangsters, whatever you want to call them, I don't know, one of the people, one of them, went out of their way they go out of their way to get in your way, but to make it seem like you're in their way. Like, even if you try to dodge them, they just go out of their way. So I remember I went into the store, I went to the restroom because we had just came from eating lunch, and I'm coming out the aisle, and one lady sitting there acting like she's on her phone, and of course she takes a picture, and then another lady walks up. I go the other way, she goes around, she goes the other way, and my mom sees this, right? She sees it, but doesn't say anything. And then she asked me a question about something back in 1995. She goes, "Oh, do you remember the store we used to buy all of our Western wear from for my wedding?" And I said the name or whatever. And she was like, "Yeah, that's what I thought it was, but I wasn't too sure." And that's another thing they do. They bring up stuff, and if you don't give them the answer that they want, they'll have someone else ask you, someone totally, completely different. Now, see, this car is going slow intentionally, so all these cars over here can send whatever to my car. I even went to the dealership the other day to get my battery changed for my key fob, and he even said that this is a computer. So anyway, and I've seen them send it, like those little smart watches. I've seen them sit there and do something with the watch and send it or whatever. But of course, you can't videotape your life 24/7 because you have a life, right? So anyway, I'm in the store, and this person goes out of their way to get in my way. And then I'm standing there waiting for my parents to come out, and as a couple people are in line trying to make their purchases, both of them have their phones pointing it towards me, and they're standing there, and they have their hands in their pocket. They're doing all the signals, wiping their eyes, flicking their hair, coughing, sneezing, blah, 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 right? And I've heard a couple of TIs on here saying, like, "Oh, they're doing that to drive you crazy." It's not to drive you crazy. They're communicating with each other. When I went to my mom's house the other day, last week or the week before, she logged into something, right? My stepdad goes in the back room. I'm sitting there. It's to make it seem like, for later on, to make it seem like I'm the one that logged into it to do whatever, right? So she logs into something. As soon as she logs in, my stepdad sneezes. That's like saying, "I got it," right? So he sneezes. She logs into something. While I'm at work, it's the same thing at work. They'll sneeze or cough or drop something, make a real loud. It's to let the person know that they picked it up, they got it. It's communication, nonverbal communication. Anywho, so as I saw the girl in the store go out of her way to get in my way, I was like, I'm gonna go sit in the car because I didn't have no money to buy anything or whatever. So they come out, my parents, my stepdad and my mom, and they're doing hand gestures, pointing and doing all the same stuff that the gangsters do, right? And the girl that got in my way was sitting in her car doing something with her phone, and then she signaled them, and then she drove off. And then later on during the week, I got like advertisements or commercials, whatever you want to call it, on my TV for that store. Now, I've never shopped at that store before, ever in my life, because I'm not into that type of clothing, okay? So I was like, that's what they were doing. They're trying to pick up something, link it to me, make it seem like, whatever, okay? That's the story of everywhere you go if you're a TI, right? So then here at work here lately, I've been, when they have someone come in and the girl checks them in and I'm sitting there and I'm working on my computer, they'll do their code talking or whatever they do. It's code talking, the cough and all that stuff, right? And then they'll try to take a picture of me. So what I've been doing, I've been looking them dead in their face as they try to take a picture of me. So a couple of them haven't been doing it. So what they've been doing is now the girl at work all of a sudden can't come to work. And then they have it super busy. And it's so orchestrated. As soon as a patient comes out, someone opens the door and comes in. It's there's no way in real life that could really happen, but every single person. So it's like they want it to be so busy to where I can't pinpoint who it is, but I know who it is. It's all of them. It's all of them. And they do it on purpose, or they'll have a patient come in early, super early, to sit there in the lobby to pick up the transactions. It's like, oh, I'm just here early. So it don't be pinned on the girl I work with or the people that I work with, but it's all of them. It's all of them. They're all part of my mom's coven, whatever they are. If they're Elks, if they're Eagles, if they're American Legions, all of them are all one, honey. But anyway, so that's been going on. And I've been trying to get a session with a therapist. Not that I feel like I need therapy, because I know what's going on around me. But the last therapist I saw when I first moved back here, I want to say he took what I said and twisted my words. And of course he was recording. And of course he gave what I said to the police. And in there I said some stupid stuff because I didn't know what was going on. I was new. I was figuring it out. I didn't know it was gang stalking. I didn't know. So I said some stuff and, that I would harm myself, but I would never harm myself. Of course, I was out of fear. I was scared. And I was trying to get an appointment with him, right? Now, it's the same exact insurance and stuff that I had before. And now all of a sudden he doesn't take it. How convenient, right? And he was like, oh yeah, well, I would love to continue to work with you, but you would have to pay out of pocket. I'm not paying you no $150 to talk to you about something that you're not going to help me resolve. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not doing that, but that's all intentional. That's what I'm saying. I'm getting on here because I didn't realize how intentional things are. Like, on my way to work, all this shit is intentional. Going slow on purpose, stopping, acting like they're going to go one way and go another so they can get a picture of me in front of Walgreens, or, just stupid stuff. And they try to get a picture of me in front of Walgreens because I fill prescriptions at work for Walgreens, and of course they're gonna link. You know what I mean? That's just how it is. It's this cycle, and it's everywhere. And even if I leave where I'm at, oops, I'm about to miss where I'm about to turn. Even if I leave where I'm at, it's gonna follow me because it's followed me here. So, excuse me. I just wasn't aware that it was going on before. I don't know if it was because I was caught up in the mix, or it was done differently. Maybe it wasn't so just like in my face, we're setting you up. Maybe, I don't know. But I know everyone that has acted like they were my friend was never really my friend. I know there's been people in my life that are supposedly dead. I don't believe they did. I believe they faked their deaths. I believe my stepdad's mom is not dead. I believe they faked her death. They sold her house, got her insurance money, spent all the money on purpose, and then go link it all back to me like I done something. Because what they do at my job, like I said, I can see what, their profession is. Now they've got it to where it just says retired, because I know that they watch this channel. So anyway, before it would be retired police, retired firefighter, retired social worker, retired school teacher, retired, you know what I mean? Like, and they will all come the same day. So what I'm thinking is the social worker, I tried to become a foster parent. That didn't come through because, of course, my family got in the mix of that, right? So it's gonna say something like, I don't know. It could say I beat kids, or it could say I touched kids, or it could say, I don't know what it could say, but it could say anything that's not true to keep me, to smear my reputation. And then the school teachers, I was teaching this student and they had this, and then, and just whatever. So there's that going on. And right now it's a whole bunch of insurance people. So before it was law enforcement, firefighter, working for the city, school teacher, bus driver, working for the district of this, the school. And then last week it was an insurance company like State Farm, life insurance, insurance on their house, something like that. And my ex-best friend that I met here years ago used to work in the insurance part of the bank that we used to work at. So like I said, every single friend that I have ever had was never really my friend. So, yep, everybody is in on your gang stalking. I was watching some guy's video. I cannot remember his name, and I'm just new to his channel. And he was talking about how he thinks he remembers the moment where he was getting gang stalked. He was in a club, and the guy and a girl were pointing at him, and then their face changed. It was going on long before that, honey. That's just when you realized it. So I just realized mine in 2023, but it was going on way longer than that. I've been getting set up for whatever they setting me up for a long time, And when I look back on things, I'm like, oh, now it makes sense. That's why this was done, and that's why this was said, and that's, it's called full circle. Things are coming full circle. And then that's why everyone around me is like, oh, that's why I believe in karma. They talk that karma mess because they think they have a God complex. They think they're God. So if you could never have done anything to them personally, but whatever covenant is, they discuss, oh, well, back in 1998, she slapped my daughter and she deserves to be slapped. So of course, here in the future, you may get slapped because back in 1998, you slapped someone's daughter. You know what I mean? They do stuff like that, or that's why they go, I'm a big believer in karma. I'm a big believer in karma. I'm a big believer in what goes around comes around. That is not the real definition of karma. That's what everyone makes it seem. Karma is a Buddhist word. So anyway, that's why all these non-Christian religious groups are in Hollywood, like Scientologists and Catholics and Mormons. Mormons a big one. Those are the ones that really make it, and the ones that claim they're Christians, they're not real Christians. All this shit is fake. This shit is not real. Someone said it, I want to say it was on Joe Rogan's podcast. He was like, our reality is not real. And then now they're opening all these Epstein files and eating babies and all this stuff. They've been getting away with this stuff for years. They've been getting away with setting up people for years. Why you think, like I said, my job is cops. Who you think is helping them set you up? How you think they know how to do it? You know what I mean? Like, it just was on one day they're like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna do this. No, this shit has been planned out strategically. They study you. They get your family in on it. Or your family be the one that sold you out. My family sold me out a long time ago. I think they wanted to kill me right after they killed my brother, but they wanted to make it seem real. Because there was a point when my step-parents broke up, right? Like they were separated. And I think that's when they were going to get a divorce, because I honestly believe my stepdad had something to do with my brother's murder. And he stayed around to study me, to see, they always tried to get me to have sex. I didn't have sex for a long time. I didn't lose my virginity till I was well off in my 20s. And they always used to try to get me to do drugs. Never done drugs. You know what I mean? I smoked weed a little bit after an accident, but I've never been like hooked on anything. And they was trying to find ways to like a weak spot for me. And the weak spot was me, because I never felt love. My family never made me feel I was going to be wanted in life because I'm a bigger girl or whatever. So that's how they got me with love, because I've never felt love. And it was always, well, no one's ever going to want you, and da-da-da-da-da. So the little bit of attention that I did get from a guy, it was like, oh my God, da-da-da. You know, I gave him everything. So anyway, when my parents separated, during that time, I had done nothing. I still was kind of squeaky clean, living on my own, working. And right after they separated, a situation happened with my cousin, and now I'm labeled as a snitch. Then all of a sudden, my stepdad comes back. Okay, so like, to them, snitching that's the worst thing you can do. That's like the ultimate no. So now he comes back into my mom's life. They're back together and they're oh so happy, and this, that, and the third. That's when they decided they were going to go through with it. I believe they were trying to set me up before, but because they couldn't pin anything on me, they couldn't be like, oh, well, she does this and she does that and she does this. Because I wasn't out there like that. I wouldn't do anything. They're like, oh, well, we'll just give her a pass. We'll let her go. Or, you know, try to kill me in a car accident like they tried to, but it didn't happen. Or, you know, they're going to try to set me up for hanging around with the wrong crowd. Well, I grew up a little bit and stopped hanging around with the wrong crowd. So when they realized, word got back to him that I snitched on my cousin or whatever. I really didn't even snitch, but that's how it looked. He came back and then was like, all right, it's on and popping. And that's when I went to a different state and was living my life and was living with my cousin and working and, you know, doing the damn thing, got my own place. And that's when everything started, you know, I thought everything was going right, but that's when they were sending people my way. Every single boyfriend I've ever had, every guy I've ever talked to, every friend has all been sent through my family. So, and it's coming to an end. And now he's slowly like being like, my mom was like, oh, I'm gonna leave Ed, or I'm gonna disappear. Like, yeah, because it's coming to an end. He about to finish his job. Like I said, I don't believe their marriage was ever really real in the first place. I believe he was hired to do what he did with my brother. I believe he had something to do with my daddy's death. Now that I work in the medical field and see how this shit is fake too. They can take someone else's papers and change the name and make it seem like you sick when you really ain't sick, and poison your body and all that stuff. It's all fake, honey. All of it. Just like this truck in front of me was, I don't know if you could see him as I was talking, flashing his lights, that double tapping on your brakes. All that is a communication too. It's a communication with the people around and let them know, hey, she's one of them when we're slowing down so y'all can get whatever you need. So anyway, yeah, so at first I thought when I first was realizing what was going on, I thought it was just him, and I was like, Mom, we're in danger, da, 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 da. And she was like, no, I need proof, and this, that, and the third. But she in on it too. It's her too. And a part of me want to say that it's the KKK because where we're located. And before I came back out here, I was at my auntie house, my play auntie, who is white, and her kids are mixed. Her husband, she's married to a black man or whatever, and her mother is supposedly dead. I think they done faked her death too, because when I went over there, it was like, oh, I don't know, it was a very weird vibe I got while I was there. And then my granny, which is her mom, was showing me pictures of like their family, and she was like, yeah, and he's a white supremacist, and he's a white supremacist, and da-da-da, like just telling me all kind of stuff. And then I said something like jokingly to my uncle, which is my play auntie's husband, who's black, and I was like, yeah, they gonna have me out there with the KKK and the white supremacy. He goes, well, I know a Mexican who's in the KKK, and I know a black person who's in the KKK. Now, remind you, my mother is black and my stepfather is Hispanic. You know what I mean? So I try to link everything to that, like, oh, and then where we're located is, you know, predominantly white. Some of the guys that they sent to me when I was in California, come to find out they were part of the KKK. I looked them up on the internet. Well, that's how I met them, on the internet. Of course, when you're a TI, your stuff is proxy, so they control what you see on the internet. And they were in a KKK chat room. Not that I met them in a KKK chat room. I ended up seeing them in a KKK chat room. And then, as a child, before my mom married my stepbrother used to write KKK on stuff. And the gotcha is, there's this girl that I work with that her husband is from Arizona, where my stepbrothers are from. He knows their grandfather, who was a cop. The world is not that small. It's only that small if you make it that small, if you get my drift. But anyway, I just wanted to get on here and say a few things that's been going on. Like I said, my phone's been doing what it wants to do. At work, they think they trying to get smart, but it's not. It's the same shit. It's the same thing going on. It's just different. Like I said, if they're not coming through the front door, they're coming through the back door, they're coming through the side way. You know, it's the same thing. But anyway, I hope everybody has a good Monday. I guess it's President's Day, so there's probably no work or school for normal people. But if you're a real TI and not a perp, there's a lot of perps on YouTube too. So y'all be careful. I done peeped a couple of them. Hope everyone is staying vigilant, staying blessed. And yeah, keep your head up, y'all.